Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you are all well. So today we are going to discuss the sixth problem in the TLE Eliminator CP sheet 1008 problems. The problem name is Ski Resort. So let's get started. Let's start by reading the problem statement first. Dima is a maths teacher at school. He was sent on a vacation for N days for his good work. Dima has long dreamed of going to a ski resort, so he wants to allocate several consecutive days and go skiing. Since the vacation requires careful planning, he will go for at least K days. You are given an array A containing the weather forecast at the resort. That is, on the ith day, the temperature would be A of I degrees. Dima was born in Siberia, so he can go on vacations only if the temperature does not rise above Q degrees throughout the vacation. Unfortunately, Dima was so absorbed in the abstract algebra that he forgot how to count. He asked you to help him and count the number of ways to choose the vacation dates at the resort. We will be given N, K and Q. N is the length of the array, K is the minimum days Dima wants to stay at the resort, and Q is the maximum comfortable temperature for Dima. So let's understand the question first. We would be given an array. This would be the temperatures array. We would be given N, K and Q. N is the size of this array. K is the consecutive days that the person wants to stay at the resort. Q is the maximum temperature he can bear. So it does not rise above. So it can be, the temperature can be less than equal to Q. So let's now take the last test case for an example and understand the problem. 0, 3, minus 2, 5, minus 4 and minus 4. So N is 6, K is 1, Q is 3. Let's take K as 2. Just for understanding purposes. Now what all are the temperatures that Dima can sustain? So he can go on this day, he can go on this day, he can go on this day, this and this. So on this day he cannot go. So we get two subsegments where he can go. Now we need to find the number of ways that we can plan the trip. Now he wants to stay for at least 2 days now, right? So let's say like here we have 3 days and here we have 2 days. So from these 3 days we need to choose a vacation with at least 2 days. So from 3 we can choose 2. And from 3 we can choose 3 as well. And from this 2 we can choose only 2, right? So whatever is the total sum of this would be our answer. So this answer is 3 plus 1 plus 1, that is 5. Now let's suppose the K was 1 here. So now we would have 3C1 plus 3C2 plus 3C3 plus 2C1 plus 2C2. This would be 3. This would be 3 plus this would be 1 plus this would be 2 plus this would be 1. So our answer is coming 10. Let's see why is it coming. The answer should be 9. So we got our error here. We cannot use 3C2. Like 3C2 will give us all the combinations. Then 0, 3 and minus 2. It will give 0, 3, 0, minus 2 and 0 and 3 and minus 2. So in the above test case it's given we need to allocate consecutive days. So this is not consecutive. So this should be 2 and that's why our answer is 9 here. Right, so now we cannot use the normal NCR formula. Now let's approach it differently. Like let's suppose we are given an array of 5 elements, and we have let's suppose we can take all of these 5 days consecutively, and we have K is equal to 3. So what would be a count? Like what would be the final answer for this? So the minimum would be like consecutive 3 days. This, the other would be this. So for size 3, we would have 3. Like you can also write it as n minus k plus 1, right? 5 minus 3 plus 1, and for size 4 again n minus k plus 1, that is 2, and then size 5, that is 1, right? So answer is 6. Now these are the consecutive natural numbers, so our sum can be n into n plus 1 by 2. Like a simple sum for these is n into n plus 1 by 2, where n here is n minus k plus 1. This n is the consecutive days, this k is the least amount the person wants to stay, and this one is for the size. Let's take a random array. 1, 7, 4, minus 10, 4, 1, 9, and let's say 7. So let's suppose K, the maximum temperature that he can endure is, let's suppose we take it as 5. So he can endure this, he cannot endure this, he can endure this, he can endure this. This one is also true, this one is true, this is false, right? So we will just count these elements. Like we will have an array that would have the blocks. Like this is one block, this is a block of 4 consecutive days, and that's it. We can have these many consecutive days. Now in this we can apply our formula, this. Now if this block size is less than k, then we'll add 0. Why? Because with a block size of less than k, it is not possible. Since we are given that he wants to go for at least k days. So let's write a little bit of code here. We'll be given an input that is n, k and q. We will input the array. Now we will have a count that is initially 0, and we would have an array that would contain the days, like how many consecutive days can the person go. So that is initially 0. Then we will iterate over it, and if it is possible, like the ARR of I is less than equal to q, that is the maximum temperature, then we will increment the count. Otherwise we will push it into the days and decrease a count and assign a count as 0. We will start the process again, and after that we will just count the answer. The answer is initially 0, and we will iterate over the days array, and we would add answer plus is n into n plus 1 by 2. This is the sum of n natural numbers, first n natural numbers, where n is the size of the array, that is days of I minus k plus 1. Right now this days of I should be greater than equal to k in order for us to add this, and in the end we would just print the answer. Right, so I think you got how to implement it. Now let's code it up. So I have my boilerplate code here. We would be given an n, k and a q. We will take them as inputs. We will make a vector of ARR, that would be the temperatures. So we will take the inputs, and after that we will have a count, that is initial count, and we would have a vector of days, like these many consecutive days the person can go. Then we will iterate over the array again. If the array, the element is less than equal to q, that means it's possible, then we will increment the count. Otherwise we would push the count into a days array, and we would assign it to 0. Now after we have traversed the array, we would again check if the count is not equal to 0, then we would again push it, and we will make an answer variable that is initially 0. Then we will iterate over the days array, n days. If I is less than k, that means we cannot have that consecutive days. Like we need to have an element that is greater than or equal to k. And now let's have a mini answer variable that is equal to n into n plus 1 divided by 2. Right. So what is this n? This is n minus k plus 1. Now this n is the number of days. So let's write it here as well, and we will increment our answer by this. And in the end we will just print the answer, a new line. So that's all we need to do in this code. Now let's try it for the sample test cases. So our code works for the sample test cases. Now let's try to submit it. It is in queue. It is running on the test case 7, and it got accepted. That means our approach and our solution is correct. I hope you understood the problem. Comment down what was your approach for solving the same problem. The solution link would be in the description section. Do check it out. Also, this is a playlist for all of the problems in the CP sheet. Do check out all the other problems as well. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. Thank you.